Welcome back to the Abundance Alchemist, your quiet space to remember who you are. Tonight we speak gently about entering a dream of folded robes, warm silence, and the rhythm of undisturbed wealth, not as a lesson to learn, but as something your soul already carries. What if you've never truly been broken? What if your softness was always your power? What if this ache has always been an invitation? Let these questions land right where you are, not as riddles to solve, but as secret doors the heart already knows how to open. There is something holy about softness, isn't there? How the world slows in the gentle dim of evening, how fabric gathers calmly in hands that are never rushing, how even the hush of a room can feel more abundant than gold. You're safe to lay down whatever you've carried, all the effort and noise, the old tightness in your chest, the part of you that thought there was something to strive for tonight, that can soften here now while you listen. We are not building or chasing or fixing, we are returning. Let this echo across time and memory. The image comes, folded robes, warm silence, and a kind of stillness that only wealth of the soul can bring. You don't have to reach for it. It's here. The world does not need you to perform. Tonight is for remembering how abundant you already are, in the stillness, in the breath, in the simplicity of being gently awake, gently dreaming. Even this is part of the remembering. Let your body breathe a little deeper now, letting the space inside you match the quiet outside, letting your thoughts pool and settle like warm water in a hidden stone bath. It's safe now, you don't need to hold yourself up. The story will hold you. The rhythm is always there, undisturbed, even when the world forgets. What would it be like if the most abundant thing you could do tonight was simply to rest? To let the layers loosen and tumble, to know that within the smallest acts, folding a robe, lighting a candle, listening for silence, there is a kind of richness the world rarely celebrates, yet your soul remembers. You're allowed to enter this dream. It was always waiting for you. Let this echo before sunrise. You're here, and the world is a little softer than you remember. The room is dim, barely awake, only the gentle press of cool air kissing your skin. There's steam unfurling from a sturdy mug cupped in both hands, a quiet ritual before the noise sneaks back in. The clay holds warmth, giving and receiving, a simple exchange, honest and ancient. Fingertips learn the temperature of comfort, of patience, of belonging. You don't have to rush, not in this secret morning. Sometimes the ache is just to stay, to let the world circle outside while you steep in ceremony, in permission. The ache for just a few moments untouched, the hush before thoughts crowd back in, the familiar urge to armor up, even as your palms plead to rest against earth and porcelain. Let it soften here. There's a memory woven through these small hours of another time, another kitchen, maybe a smaller hand tracing ripples in steam. The shape of morning always belonged to you, even when you thought it was borrowed, an inheritance written in quiet and warmth and the hush of standing still. Nothing urgent, nothing required except presence. Even if you drift, this still lands. It's tempting to believe slowness is a luxury your past could never afford. That to linger is to risk, to waste, to let life rush by while your senses make poetry from steam and clay. An old voice rises, be useful, be ready, don't let comfort dull your edge. But here you are neither hiding nor falling behind. There is only this. Let this echo breath slows without asking, shoulders dropping, chest widening, grief and longing melding in the space between sips. The outside waits patiently, just beyond the glass, unsure if it's welcome. You know now, sanctuary isn't something built. It's remembered every time you pause long enough for morning light to catch in the mist above your tea. You don't need to hold it. Steam finds your cheek, your brow, leaving circles of dew that dry with time. You've always known, somewhere beneath all else, that warmth is a language the world can't take. Clay and steam, breath and pulse, you and morning, no separation, no hurry. Let it soften here. Some mornings brought thunder, others an aching brightness, always the same choice. And to protect this hush, or force yourself to meet the chaos halfway. Today, the tea wants only your presence. The ritual becomes a promise to the self who survived rush and scarcity. You are allowed to soothe, to linger, to let safety bloom in small sips. Even this is part of the remembering. Inhale, exhale. The mug is an anchor that asks nothing. If you've ever feared that slowing down might invite danger, know now. The most radical act might be just to witness your own breath rising with the steam. The outside will return, but not yet. For now, clay, warmth, and the silent strength that's always lived in your open palms. It's safe now. There is nothing more to prove. The world will wait. For as long as you need, steep in mourning and let quiet abundance remind you of your truest rhythm. There's something ancient about folding robes in the quiet, the way fabric slips soft through your fingers, the hush of it, the way you count the edges just so, tracing invisible seams that were stitched long before you ever learned what money meant. Hands remember what the mind sometimes hides. You move cotton sleeves, gentle, as if smoothing stories written in invisible ink, stories of scarcity, of asking for less, of learning to tuck pieces of yourself in creases so no one would notice you wanted more. Even now, you catch the old pattern in the rhythm of your folding, that subtle ache, a body memory of lack, woven with every tug and turn, a whisper in your chest that wonders if there will ever be enough. It's ancient, older than your name, carried from hands you never met but somehow trusted. Outside, the wind slides along the window, a thin, cool presence, counting itself as it goes. No one taught the wind its worth. It doesn't stop at fences, doesn't barter with the branches. It moves where it wants because it can, because that's how wind was born. And here you are, folding cloth and counting wind, remembering the longing for abundance, the old ache for safety, stitched into generations. It is not shameful to long. There is grace in wanting softer things. There is gold in releasing the weight you carried for someone else. Let it soften here. You fold one edge over another, just as you learned, lining corners, smoothing wrinkles that will never appear again exactly that way. The work is quiet, a meditation, but somewhere in your chest, near where memories sleep, there's that old pulse, the belief that your having is dangerous, your ease a threat, your softness not enough. This is a spell you learned but did not cast. It's wrapped around your bones, woven by the voices of caution, the lessons of tight times. Even so you fold on. The cloth settles edge over edge, the repetition soothing, each motion an unlearning, each fold a new page. Night gathers outside, the world grown gentle with shadow. You don't have to rush these edges, or measure each one by the old rules. No one is grading your worth here. No god of scarcity sits in the lamplight watching how well you obey. This is just you, robe and hands, fabric and breath. Let this echo, notice the warmth that gathers in your palms, how the robe's weight shifts. Could this be how receiving might feel? Not as guilt or fear, but as simple, holy presence. What if abundance loves to be folded and touched? What if it longs for your attention, the way the moon longs for the hilltop, the way the river dreams of being seen? Patterns rise, familiar as heartbeat. Thoughts saying, remember last time we lost, don't get too comfortable. or this softness could be snatched away. The mind calls these warnings wisdom, but here, in the hush of fabric slipping through your grip, can you let them rest? It's safe now. See how the robe drapes, how it gives itself to gravity. It does not question whether it's worthy of being cared for. It does not shrink from the gentleness of your hand. The robe receives, simple as rain receives the earth, effortless, inevitable. You, too, once knew how to accept good things without question. Before the scripts, before the bargains and debts, before the careful monitoring of pleasure. And tonight, as you fold, notice what rises. Are there places in you that tense when life feels generous? A tightness in the shoulders, a bracing, half expecting to pay for the peace. Even this is part of the remembering. What would it feel like to trust the wind that moves, invisible but everywhere, to believe that you can rest without constant vigil, that nothing is waiting to be taken away? The robe does not guard its threads. The wind never hoards. Your nervous system may need a moment or many before softness feels safe again. That's all right. There is time. The ritual of folding has no clock. The wind outside takes all night to finish its journey, sometimes circling back, whispering through the very same trees it visited before. Let it settle in your chest. You keep folding, slow, deliberate. Each pleat a memory, each smoothing an apology for all the times you called yourself too much or not enough. The fabric holds you gently in return. It does not judge the hands that hold it, only molds itself to your shape. Your wealth has always wanted the same, to meet you where you are, to be handled softly, to be welcomed, not chased. You don't have to hold it. Let the wind be your teacher tonight. See how it arrives, unafraid, drifting through closed rooms and tangled branches. It is not ashamed to be present. It doesn't hide or shrink, no matter how many windows are shut. In this dark, layered room, in this ritual of folding, old wounds meet new permission. The old script whispers, but the cloth in your hands is silent, allowing, forgiving, eager to take the shape of your care. What if the ache was only part of the opening, a doorway into abundance wide as sky, vast as wind? Could you trace the pattern all the way to its source, and then let go? Not with violence, but with the patience of someone folding the last robe at midnight. The patience of someone who knows this moment will return again and again, each time softer, each time lighter. Even longing is allowed tonight. Fold the past as gently as cloth. Lay it aside, not forgotten, but made new by contact with your hope, your future, your permission to receive. You are not measured by what you did not have. You are not reduced to the old tally marks scratched on kitchen walls or inside your ribcage. The wind comes back, always. The robe is always ready for another folding. Sleep finds you here, hands open, chest quiet, the counting done, the fabric smooth, the ache no longer sharp but soft, a story allowed to end. There is a moment before the bread leaves your palm when the birds already know. They gather not because you measure time, but because you remember what it feels like to be trusted. You watch the clock sometimes and feel its language tightening around your chest, but somehow, when a bird lands nearby, little bones. Soft heart, unhurried eyes, all the numbers go quiet. There is no ask but presence, just soft wings, hunger without shame. So you pause, you hold out what you have, and the world is suddenly old again, older than clocks. Older than memory, as if the ache inside you has always been waiting for this kind of silence. Let it soften here. You feed the trusting, and for a moment time slouches back, sets down its briefcase. It calls off every demand, releases its firm grip on your spine, all urgency dissolves under the hush of fragile wings. It should be nothing, so simple, but the part of you that aches for softness, for permission to just be, recognizes the invitation in every beak, every feather, every expectant gaze, and suddenly what you feed returns its own secret. Patience, presence, worthiness. It's safe now. Notice how you forget the list, the plans, that heavy need to always be making something of yourself. In these sacred moments, you belong again to the natural order, trusted by what is wild, unhurried with what knows its own rhythm. When the seeds leave your palm, the birds don't care about schedules or currency. They only mirror the part of you that is timeless, the part that gets left behind when your days are ruled by reminders and tasks, and all that noise inside. Let this echo. Sometimes it feels so hard to put down the hurry. There is a ghost in your body that whistles you back to the clock, back to the scrolling, back to trying to outrun the sun. But for a moment here, even this is part of the remembering. You don't need to hold it. See how the world turns softer when you feed what trusts you. The birds do not demand receipts or raisins. They accept what you offer like it's always been theirs. There's no guilt, no sense of being behind. Only patience, only the hush that falls when giving becomes its own kind of time travel, back before you were measured by what you produced, back before you thought worth had anything to do with faster, sooner, more. Even if you drift, this still lands. There are old patterns here, a loop that whispers you'll be late, you'll miss something, you cannot just rest. The birds don't know these words. They teach a different kind of mastery, letting your hand be open long enough for trust to happen. Not every gift is taken, not every moment is met. But the willingness to wait, to trust, is itself the forgetting of time. Let it soften here. It is strange, maybe, to feel so much from one quiet kindness. But somewhere in the nest of your chest, a small hope dares to believe you are worth slowing down for, by yourself most of all. And so you feed what trusts. You sit in the sacred pause it creates. And for a heartbeat, for a season outside the hours, you remember what it means to simply be here. Let this echo somewhere in this quiet room. Dust has gathered, tiny stories landing on every surface, settling in corners, waiting to be noticed. You move through, not as someone with chores to complete, but as if your hand knows something old about clearing space, as if even the smallest sweeping is a kind of alchemy, a remembering that wealth isn't in what shines, but in the movement itself. Maybe you always knew there was gold in these motions, a little sweep here, a gentle lift there, not frantic, not urgent, just a slow turning of what's settled back into the flow. You pass through the room how sunlight passes over dusty shelves, soft, warm, barely naming what's there, yet bringing everything to life. Even where you thought nothing special could grow, you find the pulse of order, steady, subtle, the kind that comes not from force, but from a simple readiness to be present again and again. Let its soft rhythm echo inside you. Isn't it strange how a broom resting against the wall can feel like a memory of childhood? How the sweep can sound like a lullaby you almost forgot? There is no hurry where love has landed. Nothing is forced. Even dust waits for you, unworried. You pick it up inch by inch, not to erase the past, but to make space for breath, fresh, clean, gentle. You can almost see the air shimmer as you move, each motion pulling life back into the present. Let it soften here. Sometimes the mind feels crowded, thoughts collecting like dust, worries settling in corners you avoid. But tonight, your motions are not about fixing, just noticing. Just touching what's there with kindness, not with judgment. Each gentle pass of your hand is a thank you, a quiet invitation for the old to be seen, then to move. Order comes not from controlling, but from witnessing, so let this slow dance with the dust remind you, even chaos is tender when met with patient eyes. Nothing is wasted, nothing is wrong. The room breathes with you. You don't need to hold it. Little by little, motion gives way to quiet, the broom rests, the dust floats, and gratitude stirs beneath it all. You notice what remains, more space, not emptiness. You let the light come in just a little further. The room, like your heart, finds peace in the gentle act of returning what was scattered. Your thank yous are silent, woven into each sweep, each pause, each moment you dare to see beauty in what most rush to hide. Even here, wealth grows, still, sacred, slow. Even this is part of the remembering. There is a gentle power in not reaching for news before it's ready, in letting the mailbox stay closed, the porch quiet, trusting that what needs to find you will come in its own hour. This isn't a trick for perfect patience, but a soft way of remembering you were never meant to chase certainty through every window. It matters, because the ache for answers rarely soothes the spirit, it only tightens the places already tender. Resting in the unknowing can feel like letting your breath settle, like the hush of the world when dusk first folds itself around you, like sitting on a wooden porch with dusk unfolding, knowing the letter might arrive, or it might not, and still you belong here. Like finding comfort in the way your favorite chair molds to you, exactly as you are. Like hearing the soft hum of crickets even with questions unanswered. Let it soften here. You have always had worth in the waiting, even when the world pressed urgency into your skin. Sometimes, not reacting becomes the strongest signal. A quiet knowing that your pulse doesn't have to match the clock. Your joy can exist without proof, and nothing is missing inside the pause. Like a garden that learned to bloom without you counting buds, like rain that waters roots while you sleep, like messages that land when you're ready but never before. Even this is part of the remembering. You do not have to greet each passing thought as news you must open. It is okay to let some worries sit unopened on the porch, to know that your nervous system can untangle, your spirit can pull back from the edge. Not every story is yours to chase right now. Like the mail that collects while you nap, like sunlight warming the step outside your door, like a soft breeze lifting pages that haven't been read. You don't need to hold it. Some of the greatest shifts begin when you decide not to hurry your healing or force a sign. What if you trusted that divine timing is not a race, but a rhythm designed for your own unfolding? Something ancient and wise makes space for you in the pauses, in the easy way you come home to yourself, in the laughter at not knowing. Like an old porch swing keeping time with your heart, like letters written years ago finding you only now, like love that waits on the threshold, patient and wide as sky. Let this echo. There is a kind of sacred that never asks for applause. It moves quietly, almost invisible, inside the everyday gestures that no one sees, the simple offerings that are all your own, made not to be witnessed, but because your soul wants to give. This matters because the truest gifts, the ones that feed you while they warm the world, rarely need ceremony. They slip into the day like the way light falls across your kitchen table, like the sound of laughter behind a closed door, like a stone you pick up just because it feels good in your palm, and carry for a while, for no reason at all. Let this echo. Sacredness often lives in these quiet places. Not in the grand performances, but in the moments you hardly notice, when you pour water for a plant and forget that it's devotion, when you touch the shoulder of someone who's hurting, and feel something soften between you, when you light a candle, naming nothing, but letting the flame do its slow work nearby, and even if the world never sees. Your inner altar is fed. It's safe now. There is a truth your body knows before your mind can speak it. The sacred doesn't measure or judge the way you give. It listens for honesty, the feeling behind the gesture. The way you wipe a counter or tuck a blanket around your tired feet becomes prayer. And it never needs proving this matters, because so much of what alters us is undramatic, slow, and quiet. It builds in us like moss on a stone, like tea cooling in a favorite mug, like the hush that spreads in a room before someone says I'm sorry and means it. Let it soften here. Your soul recognizes nourishment when its rhythms aren't forced. It welcomes the soft, the true, the ordinary. The sacred isn't found in the curated altar, the fastidious offering, the trying too hard. It unfolds easier in the way you hum while folding clean laundry, in catching the afternoon light on your skin while standing at the window, in pausing just for a breath, to notice the gentle thrum of your own heartbeat at noon. Even this is part of the remembering. What you offer to the quiet altar, your small acts, your unnoticed gifts, they are already enough. They are a kind of fruit, ripened over time by kindness, by sincerity, not squeezed or coaxed. Simply given because giving is your nature, and this matters because you never have to perform to be worthy. Love recognizes its own in every small gesture. Like the slow blush on a fruit forgotten by everyone except the sun, like the way nighttime wraps around the house, closing it safe, like the hush of a room just before dawn, when everything waits without expectation, and that is enough. Let this echo, the sacred comes close, over and over in the ordinary. It does not need a witness. It is content to watch you as you are, offering the fruit of your being again and again to the quiet altar within. Even now, you don't need to hold it. Even the smallest gesture, done with intention, returns to you as nourishment. What you tend without performance, without needing someone to notice or reward it, becomes abundance. Like rain falling on familiar ground, like hands clasped in silent understanding, like sunlight flickering, unplanned, through the leaves, brushing your face just because it can. Let this settle with you. Everything you offer in honesty, however small, is felt. This is the miracle of the quiet altar, the exchange that asks nothing, the way giving and receiving blur until there's only belonging. And in this you remember. You were already always the blessing. Let this echo. Sometimes things wait in the quiet, shells nestled deep in a drawer, coins resting in the hush of a corner. They don't ask for attention. They watch as days curl in and out, unjudging, soft. Each one holds a weathered sheen, a memory without words. There's a truth floating here with your breath. The things you save, even the smallest, are part of you. They are your old laughter, your sacred wishes, the moments you chose to keep. Why does this matter? Because your real wealth was never numbers. It's what you've held and carried and treasured through the years. Even the plain things, even the lost things, these are currency only your soul recognizes. Like shells that remember the ocean's voice long after the tide is out, like coins that wake, warm against your palm, even after years beneath dust, like a sweater curled in a drawer, still holding the scent of someone you love. It's safe now. Let the memory soften in you. These objects, small and quiet, do not measure your worth, but they notice where you have been. Another truth comes, gentle as a shadow at dusk. Objects carry your memories, but they are never your captors. Their meaning is found in the way you see them, not in their shape or their list of years. You are the one who remembers, who breathes life into wood, metal, shell, and thread. This matters because the world will offer a story about what matters most. but you, quietly choosing, show what has meaning. All worth comes from how you see. It's like a window letting sunlight paint a bare room, but the glass itself was never the sun. Or a book, closed and silent, until your eyes and hands invite its story to come alive. Or a song, soft and unseen, that needs your voice to be heard. Let this echo. You don't need to hold it tight. The memory and the meaning move inside you. Let some of this flow out with your next breath. Another wave of remembering. You are allowed, again and again, to bring back what was hidden or put away. Nothing has to stay lost. Even what you felt was too soft, too strange, or too small to matter, those pieces wait, patient as the night, letting you decide if it's time to return. This matters because every corner of you deserves to be carried, not just the bright and glittering ones. Every part waits for your warm belonging. Like wildflowers growing in the garden, unruly and unplanned, far from anyone's gaze, like a child's pocket, full of stones carried for no reason but love. Like laughter left echoing in a quiet room, slow to fade, gentle in the emptiness. You don't have to rush. Even this is part of the remembering. And again, another truth opens. Wealth was never only the pile or the prize. It is the way you hold what is yours, with tenderness for all that came before. The gentle honoring of all your chapters, this is the real gold. By turning back with care, you wake up new possibility in the softness of this moment. Because each time you light a lamp in your own dusk, only for yourself, or listen to rain tapping against windows you believed only you would miss, or walk your own steps home, again and again, you make the ordinary sacred. You remind your soul that enough can live here with you in the now. Let this land, let it settle as you drift. Every memory is a touchstone, and nothing, truly nothing, was wasted. It's safe now. You don't have to carry everything. You just have to notice what was always quietly yours. Sometimes the world keeps spinning somewhere outside those windows, but here you are, parked, engine off, hands resting quiet on your lap, or maybe softly clutching the steering wheel, like you're holding the edge of something you don't have to steer. There is no hurry here, no one waiting for your next move. Time pools up around you like rain on glass. The dashboard clock glows. It's late or early or that strange hour in between. The car, meant for movement, becomes a sanctuary of stillness. You don't have to press the pedals. Nobody's asking you to merge or accelerate or arrive. You aren't required to become anything but what you are in this very pause. Each breath fogs the window a little more, proof that you exist without needing to go anywhere at all. Somewhere out there, urgency still runs its river. Maybe there's an email unopened in a glowing screen, a message left on read. Maybe the to-do list tightens, invisible somewhere behind your forehead. But here, the ache to become is met by an ache to be. Will you let yourself stay, for now, in that quiet ache? Sometimes it's not about pushing through traffic, not about getting to where you thought you needed to be, but about what softens when you let the journey become a pause. The familiar smell of the seats, the gentle closing of your own eyes, the quiet creak of settling, these are your companions. Like the moon outside, content to ride the sky instead of chase it. Let this echo. Even the restless heart remembers how to settle. You don't have to chase the sunrise when dusk feels gentle. There is freedom in the not going, even when your whole body has learned to hurry. Sometimes healing, sometimes wealth, is just this, a moment of unhurried presence, a ritual of noticing how stillness can live inside anything you once used for running. It's safe now. Each minute parked here is proof that stillness is not a punishment, but an offering. The car does not resent you for pausing. The world does not shame you for resting. Even in a life built from motion, your soul already knows how to build a small home out of a quiet breath. The world can wait for you. Your worth is not measured by how quickly you arrive. Maybe you can listen to the silence as if it's the first song you ever heard. Maybe you can notice the way the upholstery warms beneath you. Maybe you can feel your own pulse, steady under your skin, reminding you that nothing needs to happen just yet. You don't need to remember this by morning. Your body already has. Let's walk together into a memory that glows softly inside you. Imagine yourself beneath an endless silk sky, somewhere far from noise. The last blue of day is melting into indigo, and you are surrounded by tall grass that sways with every gentle wind. There is a journal in your hands, not paper, but a whisper-like warmth that feels both ancient and entirely your own. Each page opens with the lightest touch. You sense this journal does not demand words, only presence. Under this sky, you can finally breathe the way you wish. There is nothing to fix, nowhere to go. You sit down, back softened by earth, the grass brushing your ankles, and just listen to the sky, to your chest rising, to feelings you've never written down. They are not loud, they brush you like wings, soft with wanting to be noticed, not named. You sense there is wisdom here, a richness waiting in the unwritten spaces. Sometimes it's enough just to be with what's true, no page filled in, no story complete, only the hush of being with it all. You see yourself gazing up, eyes wide to the shifting dusk, letting every shade of blue and gold rest on your face. In your silence, you notice how the world expands around your stillness. The grass doesn't need words to be golden. The sky doesn't rush to explain its colors. Everything is allowed to just be. It's safe now. Let what's inside you turn over gently, like a tide returning, like a page feathering open, like a breath you forgot was yours. There is abundance where silence is honored. There is clarity born in the hush, in the patient waiting for what's real to reveal itself. Now, let these truths soften the space within. I am enough, even when unwritten. I am enough, even when unwritten. I let abundance grow in all the quiet places. I let abundance grow in all the quiet places. My feelings are welcome here. Just as they are, my feelings are welcome here. Just as they are, every silence is a door to remembrance. Every silence is a door to remembrance. I trust what comes without effort. I trust what comes without effort. There is beauty in all I have not yet spoken. There is beauty in all I have not yet spoken. Receiving is safe. Receiving is safe. Receiving is safe. The world fades a little as the hours grow quiet. You notice the small mountain of laundry becoming gentle hills beneath patient hands. Fabric warmed by touch and the dim glow cast by the moon above. Here, the cycle of day and night is stitched into the rhythm of something simple, something you've known since childhood but maybe forgot in your hurry to become more. The hush of being enough, without hurry or performance, threads itself through the room, just you. The worn softness of cotton, the memory of sunlight lingering in fibers only now cooled by night. Each shirt lifted, each sock paired, tiny rituals that declare, I am still here, I have given this day my living. It's safe now. There was always an ache at the end of the day. Sometimes it whispered, sometimes it pressed right behind your eyes. The voice that says, did you do enough? Were you enough? Yet here in the hush, you see it's not about being done, it's about being whole, even when the basket overflows again tomorrow. You don't need to hold it. Folding clothes by lamplight is not just a chore, it is a slow ceremony of return. Every crease, every fold says, you carry softness still. You can take a little more care. The world is not asking for more from you right now. The world is tucking you in with the same gentleness you give your linens. Let this echo. The night does not count your unfinished tasks, does not judge the shape of your days. It offers only a circle of quiet, moonlight pooling in the doorway, faint scent of clean cotton. The past slips into the seams, regret softens into rhythm. You are not late, you are not lacking. You are only here in the slow sculpting of order from the beautiful mess. Even this is part of the remembering. Some nights you might feel small, but the moon is always small in our hands and vast in the sky. Let the rhythm of folding, the care in sweeping a palm across a shirt, feel like an end-of-day prayer. You have been many things today, brave and tender, hurried and weary, but you have always belonged. Even worn-out things find their place in the drawer, accepted without effort, trusted to be ready for morning. Let it soften here. You might sense the ache quieting, the wants growing lighter, as if the moon herself said, "Rest now." The world can wait. The folding is enough. Your rhythm is enough. In this moment, you seal the day not with accomplishment, but with acceptance. The song of the night is not about striving. It is a lullaby for the bones, a permission slip to just exist. Let the calm settle where doubt once lingered. The basket is empty for now, the room hushed, the pulse of enoughness echoing between you and the moon. Tomorrow brings new piles, more chances, but for tonight you are folded in gentleness, wrapped in the certainty that enoughness is not earned. It's remembered each time you let yourself rest. Let this be true again and again, until even your dreams start to hum the quiet rhythm of being enough. Night settles as softly as a sigh, shadows folding themselves around the quiet body that has carried so much for so long. Here there's no one watching, no masks holding shape. The world slows down in the places that matter most, the ones only you can feel. You can exhale now, tonight. It's not about answers or striving. There is no problem to solve, just old truths curling in closer, like a whisper behind the ribcage. You've known these comforts. Maybe they drifted silent, like the hush of dusk gathering around a porch light, or the soft animal warmth of a bed already made. Something deep and gentle already lives here with you. Who taught you to be gentle with yourself when the night grew too wide? Whose memory do you taste on the edge of sleep? And in the privacy of your own heart, what would you say to the younger version of you who didn't know it would one day be safe to rest, unguarded? What if the wisdom you seek isn't hiding or far away? What if it's already arrived, woven into the way you breathe slower at the end of a weary day? Even this ache, the part you thought should vanish, is part of the way you welcome truth into your body. There's nothing missing. The longing itself is proof you're alive. Let the mind rest where the body already knows comfort. Tonight, you're met by the gentle knowing that your softness has never been weakness. It's always been your doorway, a quiet power flowing beneath the surface, asking nothing but to be seen. The more you welcome this, the deeper your peace, a peace that waits for you, even as you sleep. Nothing in you is broken. The night is not a test you have to pass. Here in these silent blessings, you are already whole. And if you listen, really listen with the part